Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be setting up our dashboard spreads for the next week in March. I've got some washi tape here that I may use, as well as these sticker books which I may pull from. Okay guys, so it's another week in the dashboard layout, and I'm going to just preface this by saying that this is a long video. I'm still getting my feet wet here with the dashboard layout and how to lay it out, so it took me a while to find something that I was happy with in the end. I decided that this week I wanted to use some florals, and I thought these watercolor florals would be just really fun to use in here. And originally I thought what I was going to do was kind of like a diagonal spread, going, almost like an S from the top there down to the right, or sorry, from the top right down to the bottom left. I was also thinking I was going to use both these red and these purple florals, but as I started building it out, I realized I didn't really have that many of those red. Those are the only two I have to work with, and they just didn't quite jive together with the purple as I originally had planned. So what I decided to do was to put those back, and since I had so many more of the purple florals, I decided to use those instead. The two sticker books that have these flowers are the Layered Florals book and the Flowers sticker book. I'm just using those, and they have them in different sizes, although the styling is pretty much exactly the same. There are smaller ones, and then there are the kind of bigger clusters, but they really don't vary from each other. They look pretty much the same, maybe mirrored, but basically they are the same grouping of flowers, just made bigger or smaller. Back to trying to figure out how I'm going to lay this out in this S pattern, trying to cut up that bigger one so that I can see if I can do some sort of S curve in here. And I'm going to trim out some of these stick stems that are in part of the florals, kind of make it a little bit easier to work with around the others. And maybe some of these leaves too I'm going to trim out. But basically this beginning section is me just trying to figure out how to lay in these florals in the pattern that I envisioned. Long story short, it doesn't go that way in the end. I tried to make it work, but the shape of these just wasn't having it. And I also needed to still maintain enough room to do the task list that I've been doing there on the left-hand side in the dot grid area. And then also I didn't want to cover up too many of the days on the right-hand side, because obviously I need that for function. So it was tricky. It was really tricky. I'm still here trying to work that pattern together, trimming out some of the leaves on these clear stickers, trying to make it work. And I kind of got it going there, but then, yeah, in the end, it just didn't feel right. And I decided to do these florals because it is our wedding anniversary this week. So I saved the Plannable Challenge for the health spread, which is celebrating women, and decided to do more of a, I don't know, just kind of, not really wedding-esque, but, anniversary, just kind of celebrating marriage and love, and I felt like florals worked with that, so that's what we're going to do. So here's where I decided to kind of change course and figure out maybe another way to lay these florals in. What I decided to do actually was kind of more of a top decor style of a spread, since I'm not really using those top task boxes this week, or any weeks actually, with the new method. So That gives me a lot of room up there for decor, plus I don't really need the This Week box anymore, so I have that area. So it's just covering up a little bit of Monday, but not too much, and I can pretty much use the entire top. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I think I can make that work with the florals I have, and I'm going to do a little bit of sticker surgery here, getting things together and making little collages with these florals. One of the things that I end up moving around here shortly is that kind of orangey colored flower that's part of the bunch. I wanted that to be spread throughout the purple floral, so it's not like it was just groups of purple together. So I am going to make some movement to allow to have that softer orange pink be spread around a little bit more. So I just cut that one out so that I could do that, and I'm going to rearrange these guys on the right hand side. In the end, I think it kind of starts to look like a lattice in a gazebo, or you know what I mean, like garden party wedding style. So I think it works as far as with the theme of anniversary. So now I'm moving into the sticker books to try and get some functionality working here on the right hand side. I am pulling from the layered floral sticker book mostly for those boxes. They have boxes in there that are coordinated with these florals, which is nice. So I'm going to try to pull those in. I'm not in love with that one box down there at the bottom. Might replace it here with this green one. I think I like the scaling of that one better, even though that one has the right color scheme. Just isn't the right shape, I think, for this. And I was going to cut it, but I was like, no, that's not going to work. So back to the sticker book it goes. I had also forgotten about those little purple clusters there that I wanted to use. So I pulled one out, and then now I'm getting into the washi to see maybe if I can pull that in somehow. This is where I just get kind of lost in figuring out what I want this to look like. I found a few washi tapes in my stash that I was going to try out. I do like this softer purple, but at the time it looked like it was too soft to go with the spread. And then I remembered I wanted to pull in some quotes and things, so I'm going into the, I think that's the Big Holidays memory keeping sticker book. It's kind of an old book, and looking for things in there that I can pull in. Again, the theme is kind of related to anniversary, so I just wanted it to be things that are related to that. And like I said, I'm sorry if you don't like my indecisive spreads where I like move things around 100 times. This is probably not the plan with me for you. I seriously change my mind on where I want things 100 times on the sky just because it's so new to me. And I'm sure some of you can relate when you start off with a new layout and you're just not real comfortable with it yet, where things should go and how you want it to feel. And so that's just what I'm working through here, just trying to figure out how do I balance this, and you know, where can I put things versus like in a horizontal, I just kind of instinctually know where things should go. And I honestly, I was getting super frustrated here at this point. I'm like, I just don't know. I just don't know how I want this to look. So I just moved on and started adding in a few things back here on the functionality side. I'm going to put in my little anniversary, and that one's from the Dates and Holidays Memory Keeping sticker book. I think that might be the only thing I pulled from there, so it's not really a mandatory book for the spread. I'm just trying to find a good balance for this. I definitely like the top. I just don't know what to do right now with the bottom, or kind of how I want to lay out the dated section. And I moved that wonderful 100 million times. I'm sorry. I also went into that holiday sticker book and thought maybe I could pull in a couple hearts, like, you know, love and happy marriage, all that good stuff. And then I was like, well, let me maybe add back in these purple things and see how that might add that texture I want on the spread, and where those might go. Now I am trying to create clusters basically, but I don't do a very good job here. I was getting tired, and sometimes when I've looked at something for too long, I just need to step away from it for a while and then come back to it. So that's kind of what I ended up doing. I did lay down that washi tape, which I kind of like. And now that I'm looking at it, I wish I maybe shouldn't have changed it, but that doesn't stay. I thought it would be cute, but when I came back to the spread, I just decided that it was too bright. It was too bright green, and I really wanted it to be more dark and have more black in the spread, more purple based, I think. So that's what I ended up gearing towards, but I think this could have been really cute. So here's the next day. I was just like exhausted, mentally exhausted. So I came back to it, and I had found some washi tape that I thought kind of looked like the purple splotches in black, when I said I wanted to add more black in to kind of tie in with the quotes and things. So I decided on that, and then I thought, you know, I need more colorful boxes in here, I think. So I just grabbed that monthly colorful boxes that had the right color schemes, and I'm pulling in some boxes now. Originally I was going to try to pull in some of that green, but I really ended up only liking the one green box there for the highlight of the week and the anniversary day, and then kind of sticking with the purple for the rest of the days. Again, I really just was gravitating more towards a heavier purple color scheme on this, and pulling back a bit on the green. And then I changed my mind on those smaller boxes, decided just to stick with simple kind of mid-size colorful boxes there in the purple. And now I am looking for some accessories or other things that I can add in here with that same color purple, so that things just kind of all feel like it's part of one color scheme. And like I said, I found this washi that I thought matched pretty well with that purple dot pattern thing that was there, but it was too big in my opinion. It was a little too fat to use here on the dashboard. So I cut it in half and am using it in sporadic areas around here on the right hand side. and then maybe a little bit here on the left. Here's where I pull up that washi tape and was like, no, I think I'm going to save this for another time. I would have liked to add it in somehow, but maybe it was just a little too big too. I wasn't liking that. So I'm just going to save it. And then here I decided to pull in that softer purple washi, even though I did think it was a little bit light. Now that I have the monthly colorful boxes in there with some of the other elements, the purple seems to match up a lot better. So I'm going to bring that in, kind of add more of that purple in. This one was rough, you guys, not gonna lie. This is a rough spread. I like how it came out in the end, but ooh, took a while to get there. I've literally run out of things to say about this spread. I'm like, what else can I talk about? No, it's just me being really indecisive, trying to figure out how this feels balanced or how to make this feel balanced. I did kind of get a clue to start clustering things together a bit more, and that seemed to help a bit. Okay, I think I'm ready to move on. I know it's just stickers, but sometimes I just get in my own head and just second guess all of my placements of things, and I also don't like it when I don't like the look of a spread for an entire week. It's like having to stare at it. If it doesn't feel right to me, would be difficult. So I do my best to try to make the spread as appealing as possible to myself so that I feel energized when I get into my planner versus, you know, second guessing all my choices. And since this one I had pre-cut those florals to kind of make up the whole top part, I'm trying to move them over without laying them down. So I'm going to use my ruler to kind of help me move it over without it sticking down to the paper. But I'm just trying to get it so it's right up there next to the edge without going askew. Normally I would have tried to roll it off if I had a little bit more leeway, but since there was such a straight edge there that I was shooting for, it was a little bit easier to do it by hand. And even then, I didn't set it perfect and had to trim it. Just trying to line this guy up. And I had started to set it down and it was going to be really, really crooked. So I decided just to trim it and then reset the left-hand side by hand so that I could get more out of it. Because otherwise it was going to be like half off of the page and I was going to have to cut a lot more. So by trimming it there in the middle, I kind of saved it and realigned it. And now I'm just gonna clean out the disc holes here. And I'm using just my small cutting mat and my precision cutter. These are two of my favorite things, and you can find these along with all of the items I used in this spread down below in the description. just finishing out this other side. Okay, so hardest part's done. Just gonna move over those other pieces. And I'm trying to make sure that I reuse this washi tape, and I don't want it to be too hung over on the edges, so kind of using it against the spine as a way to not have to cut a new piece. There we go. I'm not in love with this little cluster here, just FYI. Not really liking the double texture so much, but yeah, I'm already, what, 22 minutes in here, so I had to be like, okay, just commit. I'll try to reuse these pieces in and around the spread. If you haven't seen last week's video, I will be using that dot grid area as a task list. I'll be sharing that method actually I think very soon, so you can kind of see what I'm doing there, but that area is kind of accounted for, so I need to keep that pretty clear so there's not much room for decor on that side of the page. Just laying in those last bits there, pulling in those textures where I can. I was going to try to use those little half pieces down below, like up against the lines, but I didn't like that when I started it, so then I was like, well, maybe I can just kind of put them side by side like a book. Anyway, thought I was going to do that, but I didn't like that. So just finding edges that I can put those on and then using the whole ones there in the middle. And lastly, I'm going to try to pull in some of these trimmings. And once I get that done, you guys, finally, we will be done, friends. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of these videos, hopefully shorter ones. Thanks so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye!